Welcome to the CWC podcast with your host, David Selby, Justin Reed, and Andy Horton.
All right, welcome to the CWC podcast, the home for the latest news, rumors, and interviews around the sport of Chuckwagon racing. I'm your host, David Selby, and I'm joined by my co-host, Andy Horton. No Justin Reed today. He's been swamped with work this week, and I told him we're going to have a pretty short episode today anyways, so no worries, Justin. But, you know, with him not being here, well, he's not here.
Oh,
it's kind of nice to be able to we can just say how we really feel about him, you know?
Oh, wow. So it's like that.
We can just talk behind his back a little bit.
Oh, so this is what have I missed? Like 2 episodes? I think I know what happened now.
Ever. I mean, what are the odds that he actually listens to the episode?
I don't know.
I'm willing to roll the dice, you know, because I'm gonna come out and say it. The dude's got a potty mouth. He's got a potty mouth, and everybody knows it. You know, the rating of our show is all of a sudden a step lower. Like, children can listen to this. And
right.
This is
right.
a family show this week.
Yeah.
And
because I don't have that problem.
Right.
At all.
You're
for sure.
Yeah.
I'm an angel.
Clean as a whistle.
Yeah.
I'm technically the antagonist in this show. You know? I'm the dark side if there was a dark side. I'm Darth Vader in this one. Normally, that's Justin. You know, with his mason jar and his potty mouth. Yeah.
I'm just saying, it would take a pretty straight career for you to end up being Darth Vader in any episode.
Yeah, I guess I walked into that with not thinking about you being a big Star Wars fan, so didn't think that one all the way through. Anyway, so what's your least favorite thing about Justin? Just curious.
Oh my gosh, are you Justin? Dude, don't miss another episode, man. It's not fun.
He's probably not even doing anything. He's probably just he's probably just kicking back, petting his dog.
Man.
Probably watching the Chuckwagon channel, having the best time. Maybe watching Cowboy channel or Cowgirl channel just to spite us. Just like some random program.
Right.
No, I know he's busy. He's in a place right now in his career that he's being pushed. He's being leaned on and tested, and I know that guy's work ethic is through the roof.
Oh yeah.
So when he says it's not best for him to make a show, I'm like, say no more. It's all good, brother.
So you don't really think he's sitting around watching reruns of A Christmas Story?
The worst Christmas show. The worst Christmas movie ever. Just kidding. All right. Anyway, hey, I was going to ask you, do you have your schedule handy? Because last week we hit on some dates for the association races, and I know you said that you were going to be able to maybe cover 6 or 7 of them.
No.
I was going to ask you. I talked to Alex Slaughter today, so association with Justin Reed there. They are of kin, and he helps organize the Rats Chuckwagon races in Camden in July. And I was thinking that you had said something about the July 20th. Do you have an event that weekend?
The 18th through the 21st, I'm supposed to be up your direction in Missouri.
Oh, that's right. You said it's like that Carthage.
Yeah, yeah. It's the Lucky J thing. So
yeah.
The ones that I have that I could possibly do would be that first one there at Loretta Lynn's
in March.
Yeah, and then the last one, which at the Outlaw, the Chase Outlaw race, and then of course the 3 that you normally see me at, which would be the Whiskey Ridge race, the Baker Spain race, and the Clinton Arkansas race. So I could possibly make 5 of them at this point. But we need to do something about that because I have somebody else trying to get me on the other one, on the Loretta Lynn date. So
okay, yeah.
So we got So
I'm meeting with Anthony Bruto, who is Loretta Lynn's grandson, who's the guy over there, and then also with Kim Mayo, who is like their organizer promoter, and we have a call tomorrow afternoon. So I will get back to you soon on that and see what they're wanting to do. That's one place that we will definitely need Starlink if we're going to do anything through the internet, because there is no Cerveza. Cerveza is like a drink.
Yeah, so that would be a beer.
Service. Let's just stick with service. Gotta stay away from that Spanish. Just stay away from it. I don't know it. All right. Anyways, the Rats race is looking good.
Good.
We'll be talking to them, but yeah, I'll let them know that you're not an option. You're off limits, and that we'll have to get like a second hand version of you if we really want things you can do.
You're gonna have to order Andy from Temu.
No, it's just me. So
oh no.
Yeah, I'll be flying the drone. I will be doing the things that are technically difficult from a technology standpoint. But yeah, it's looking like we're going to be there. Jerry Langley, aka Rats, he's really pushing to expand on what they did last year, which was, I think, a huge success. And he's going to go all out. I don't want to say anything else right now, but I know they are going to like reward the racers for coming and competing and winning. Obviously, the top 3 places, like the payout was really good last year, and I know that they're not taking any steps backward. So that's exciting. Alex sounded really optimistic, and I sent them like a promo video that we've been working on, and they'll get back to me on that and stuff. But we'll probably have that promo video out pretty soon, and then we'll be creating promotional content for them to go ahead and push stuff as we go towards July. It's going to be here before we know it. It's exciting. All right, on today's show, it's just me and Andy, and we're going to keep the conversation going with how the 2025 race year is shaping up. A few rumors are working through the rumor mill, and we have some really great news to share about the Chuckwagon channel progress and how we are going to keep on making strides to scale the sport of Chuckwagon racing this year. So stick around. Chuckwagon channel, CWC podcast. It's all coming up.
Yeah, I don't think you can emphasize this big news enough. I think you're maybe downplaying it a little bit there, but
well, I go back and forth because it's like if I really talk about it like it's really big news, people might be like, "Oh,
yeah,
is it like a huge celebrity, or is it like this really big, like is something crazy? Is it millions of dollars?" No, if you've listened to the show, you know that we're taking baby steps here, and and this isn't a baby step.
It's a big for us. To us, this is big.
This is huge. This is like a big boy, like a 27-year-old step, like a man's step.
Right. Yeah.
Not fully, the brain isn't fully developed on what we're doing yet. Like, because new science says that your brain's not fully developed until you're like 30 or something.
Oh, wow.
Right? I don't know. Anyways, this is a big boy step. We're excited to tell you about it. Stick around for just a few more minutes here, and we're going to get into it. We just want to share our journey, and that's probably
absolutely.
Maybe that's us just like bragging all the time, talking about what we're doing, but.
I mean, I'm pretty sure my brain stopped developing at 12, but
yeah,
but that's fine.
No, but why? Like, why did it I gotta ask now. Like, so why did it stop developing at 12?
Well,
as I take another drink.
Maybe everybody on here is not exposed to my sense of humor when I get rolling. It comes through. It depends. It depends on if I'm having one of those kind of days or not.
Well. You've been making some big boy, big brain strides since I've known you, and you've always been well over 12 from what I know.
In terms of technical skill, maybe.
That's for sure. I mean, read the room. Look at all your technology behind you.
Right.
We should talk about some of that before we get off today. All right. Well, make sure to get over, subscribe to the Chuckwagon channel at chuckwagonchannel.com. It's $11 a month or $99 a year. There are so many good things happening right now in the sport of chuckwagon racing, and I can tell that this is going to be a great year. We want you to be a part of it. Be a part of what we're doing on chuckwagonchannel.com. That gives you the access to the mobile app that you can download on your phone, and you can log in with your credentials, your email, and your password, and you can be a part of everything that's going on. So we want you to be a part of it. Please do. Please tell a friend. Please encourage other people. We need your support. Moving on here, updates on season 2 of the Great Wagon Race, our documentary series that chronicles the history and the happenings at Clinton, Arkansas, at the National Championship Chuck Wagon Races. We released episode 3 on Friday this past week, which this is all being released only on the Chuck Wagon channel. Contrary to those of you that are kind of thinking that this Cowboy channel stuff that's going on. Nope, we're only on the Chuck Wagon channel with season 2 right now, and season 2 is going well.
Shaping up.
Third episode, it puts us over the halfway point on the 5 episode. I guess you'd call it a mini series, really. And Andy, you saw episode 3. How'd you feel about it?
I did. It's really shaping up. We got into some cool classic stuff on this one. There were a few details that I don't know that I didn't really know, but I guess maybe I didn't understand the gravity of it. That were, about Andrea, how she came to run BB. I mean, I knew all that happened, but I guess it wasn't sinking in. On how that all went down, and that was pretty cool. And I mean, even it had an emotional aspect to it that, I guess the way we talked about it and stuff was one thing, but when you see, the interview footage of her, it hit a little different. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
And some of the, and I don't get to see, even though I'm there filming with you guys and everything, I don't get to see a lot of the footage that gets shot and a lot of the things that get said, because I may be off trying to film something else or whatever. And so I get to see a lot of this stuff I'm seeing for the first time too. And there was a lot of the interview stuff that was really, really interesting, really cool stuff. And me being the tech nerd that I am and just kind of looking at footage, John from Dizzy D, like his interview footage is sick. Like that is the coolest interview setup, the background and everything that was behind him. I was just like, wow, man. And I understand you can't do that maybe for every one of them because the time of day is a factor. Right. And
golden hour.
So you had that golden hour shot, and I'm like, immediately I was like, oh my gosh, I have an 8x8 foot scrim. We should take that and set that up and make every shot and look as close to that as we possibly can. And so
he's great too, man. He's a good sport. He'll lean right into the interview, and he doesn't really hold back. And I love that about him. I love that about anybody that can get going on an interview and just kind of buy into the moment. Obviously part of that is on the person interviewing. Like it's our job, it's our responsibility. Sure. But it's a dance, and like he does the tango with me when we start getting into it. And I love that about that guy. And he always comments on stuff on social media, and he shoots me messages from time to time. He's plugged in, and he loves being a part of all of everything, not even like, he's not like vain or anything like that.
Right.
He's not like gloating. He's just into it. Like he lives and breathes the sport. And he's just a guy I just really like him, and and he's authentic. He's just unfiltered and genuine is maybe a really good word. And sometimes I wish I could be like that, black and white. Like I'm just like who I am, and I just don't even think about what other people like say or think. Like he just goes with it. I love that about that guy. So he's been a really fun character, I think, in season 1 and season 2. And I'd love to show more of him. He needs to just jump right. He should be an outrider next year, and then that'd be ridiculous. Hope he watches the show.
John, if you had a lot of good interviews, though. I mean, I didn't really see anything that I didn't. I mean, it was, Derek Hans, Clint, did a good job. I mean, the Trump train guy, Danny. Uh, yeah, I mean, there was a lot of good footage there, and I got to see some shots that I did do that were really cool. That was kind of like, I hope at the time I thought, man, this is a really cool, like just fell in my lap kind of a scene. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is really cool. I'm going to shoot this and I'm just going to hope that it shows up somewhere. And behold, lo and behold, it did. There was a few things that were that way. And we even got to see some footage of like some of our friends that go with us. I mean, like in the first like 10 seconds, I think Candler was in there with her happy birthday sign, so that was kind of cool too. She doesn't know about that yet, and she needs to see that because she's having a super hard time right now. She just had some surgery done on her leg where they basically had to like cut part of her leg out and like shorten one of her legs. And she's really having a tough time getting around. And so she came, they were out at the house a couple days ago, and we watched episodes 1 and 2 while she was sitting in my studio with her leg propped up. And we didn't get episode 3. It hadn't actually been released yet before they left and went home. So I think they're going to be here tomorrow. I don't know if she's coming or not, but if she is, hopefully I can, if I have the chance, I'll set her down and let her see us trying to make her famous. So
yeah, man, that's awesome. That's really cool. Glad to hear that. I love it when we can get more faces into these things, and that the people that go and enjoy the event, that they can have that little moment, that little warm and fuzzy moment, and they see themselves. And I know we don't get nearly enough people in there, and some people remind me of that too sometimes.
Well, my gosh, I mean,
man,
look at what you're trying to do.
It's a big event.
Yeah,
but yeah, I guess I'll keep it rolling here. Glad to know that you enjoyed episode 3, and I'm proud of it. I'm proud of kind of how that story comes together and kind of how we told the story between episode 2 and 3. We kind of broke up race day 1, which was a little bit out of the ordinary, and we were kind of testing the waters there, but I think it worked well. And and that interview that you had mentioned with Andrea Fralix, that was done without me there. That was done by
really?
Yeah, that was done by Savannah Smith, and she did a really, really nice job with that. And she actually messaged me after she had watched the episode, and she said she was very moved by the interview, but she felt just very proud because that was something that she got to go and do, which that particular evening, I had told them after the races ended that day, I need this crew, like you guys, Savannah, you're going to be interviewing. I need you guys to go and find the B&B race team and interview Andrea Fralix. And they went on a freaking wild goose chase. Like, you'll notice in that interview, it's like getting dark, and they looked for hours to find Andrea, and they found her with just enough light to do the interview. And I think it was like a God thing because Andrea was very much herself, and she was loose. She had enough of those Friday beers, I think, that that's just speculation. I don't know, but
right.
But she just seemed loose, and she let it flow, and she was great. And so, yeah, spoiler alert, honestly, go watch the show. So, anyways, on the note of the Great Wagon Race, we are showing season 1 on the Cowgirl channel this week, 7 p.m. Central Time each night, Tuesday through Sunday, Sunday being the 9th of February. And I told you that we have some control in the last episode. We have some control over our commercials. And so we last second, very short notice, we're able to get a couple of new commercials sponsors into the programming. And
Okay.
so if you watch the show on Cowgirl Channel, you may see a couple of familiar faces. And so that's exciting that we got to kind of pull something together there and get that into the programming. And we hope to do a lot more of that in the future. I guess there's really no spoiler alert here. I mean, we had a couple of racetracks that we were able to get in there.
Oh, good.
Through
Okay.
sponsorship. It was Whiskey Ridge
Yeah.
and Baker Spain, and
Oh, cool.
another sponsor for a medical device, PEMF.
Okay. Yeah.
And so that's Stephanie Cullum,
Right.
wife to the famous Mike Cullum of the famous Cowbell Classic race team, who is currently in retirement and hopefully is going to come back like Michael Jordan in the 40th anniversary of the national championship Chuckwagon races and lead them to victory. But I don't know, maybe not. I just send him Facebook messages sometimes and tell him he should. So
hey,
see.
maybe if you pester him enough, something will happen. So
yeah, I'll call him.
So you said it's on the
girl.
Cowgirl channel is where, so we've already aired on the Cowboy channel. This is the season 1, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And so now it's on the Cowgirl channel. What is that like to try to watch compared to the Cowboy? I mean, is it as easy to find and get to as the Cowboy channel, or what do you have to do?
Cindy Wheeler from Whiskey Ridge actually was messaging me tonight because she wasn't sure on that either, because they have like DirecTV, and I think that they're able to watch Cowboy Channel, but she had looked up like where you can watch Cowgirl Channel, and she had screenshot it to me, and it was like you can watch it on Dish, you can watch it on Sling, you can watch it on
oh no,
a couple other like streaming type television providers, but they would need to like log into Cowboy Channel Plus, the app, on a smart TV, which Cowboy Channel Plus is like $10 a month, and or maybe it's like $120 or $110 a year or something. There might be some kind of like incentive to do the year, but yeah, if you want to get on Cowboy Channel Plus, I know that you can go to like live Cowgirl Channel programming, and you can see whatever is going live on Cowgirl Channel. And so that's the other way to do it if you don't have like Dish or Sling or whatever. And so yeah, I think she figured it out. Actually, yeah, I know she figured it out because she sent me a screenshot from like watching it, and so that's pretty cool. Because today's Tuesday, we're recording this, and she saw that episode 1, and her commercial was on there, which is cool. So
now there is linear programming on some, like you said, Dish and Sling. So is that just like, does that like normal television that just airs when it airs, and that's not like an on-demand thing?
Right. Or I know that. So the way I understand it is, if you have Cowboy Channel Plus and you're paying for that subscription, that is not just your like typical, oh, it's in my Dish subscription or my Dish package that I get or whatever. Then yeah, you would need to pay for Cowboy Channel Plus to watch that stuff, and and you can watch Cowgirl Channel with that. That's what I did. Like I turned it on. I turned Cowgirl Channel live programming on through Cowboy Channel Plus, the app on my TV, and that allowed me to watch Cowgirl Channel. So so that should work for people. You can do it on your phone on the app. You can download the Cowboy Channel Plus app, and you could watch it there. You just have to have that subscription. So it's confusing. We're in a crazy place in the world right now where every channel, every network, every program, it's bouncing around like a freaking rubber bouncy ball that you just threw down a hallway, and it's just going everywhere. And that's just where we're at. I mean,
so is season 1, is it still available on like streaming on the Cowboy channels? Like, can you go there and find on-demand stuff?
Yeah. And I was digging through that yesterday, knowing that we were getting ready to do the Cowgirl Channel programming. And so I was kind of curious to know if they would do anything to change anything there. And I was able to find it, but I had to actually search it on Cowboy Channel. I had to like go search Great wagon race. I put in great, and then it popped up. But
Okay.
but yeah, that's it's buried in there now. So instead of it being like on their home screen, if you scroll down and scroll over a little bit, I didn't see it there anymore. I just saw I had to like actually search it, which that's another tough thing about like these apps and stuff is like you kind of look at it as like a web page. It's like, let's say you've got 100 great shows, but people are only really going to see however many they want to really sit there and dig through, or else have to go search for something. So yeah, unfortunately, gets a little bit buried on the streaming side of things, which makes it even more exciting whenever something's like live on their one live channel, So that's exciting, at least, and it'll be fun to see how the ratings come back for Cowgirl Channel, because I know the following is not as big there, because you're probably cutting out most of the men at that point. Now you kind of have this niche female audience there, and so it'll be fun to see what the ratings say. I'm sure they'll get them to us in the next couple of weeks, hopefully. And we'll be meeting with Cowboy Channel this Thursday and having a conversation with them about things moving forward, and potentially talking about season 2 and what may happen there. So no guarantees. My expectation is kind of like just middle of the road. Like I'm not really sure where that conversation goes. I'm not sure if they'll be like, this is the best thing we've ever seen. And
yeah. Well, why wouldn't they say that? I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, if they know what's good for them. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for that conversation. I'm always excited for something that something new could happen, and we could take another step forward, and you just don't know. But anyway, all right, we'll get into it here just a little bit. Last week we talked about the annual ACWRA meeting and the awards banquet. There was so much stuff to unpack on that episode. So make sure that you go back and you listen to it if you get a chance. If you've got an hour and 20 minutes or whatever that episode was to just kill, maybe put it on like 1.5 speed to get through a little quicker, because you can do that on the Chuckwagon channel app. You can speed it up, and if you're on the app on your phone, you can speed it up, and I think you can just you can turn it, you can shut your screen off and keep listening. So if you're the kind of person that likes to listen in the car or put a headphone in or whatever, you don't have to sit there and have it on all the time. It's kind of built to be able to do a podcast, so that's kind of cool.
I'm pretty sure you can do that on YouTube as well.
Yes. And you can do it on YouTube.
Yeah. Maybe only if you have YouTube Premium. I'm not sure if you can do it.
Yeah, no, you should. Well, no, you're probably right for turning the screen off.
Yeah.
But the other option there is YouTube Music, which a lot of people don't have YouTube Music downloaded on their phone, but our podcast is on YouTube Music. And the cool thing about YouTube Music is you can actually listen to something, or you can listen and watch. It's like this great hybrid of YouTube in its traditional form.
That's pretty cool.
And music and stuff like that, which I subscribe to that platform and I really like it. I was actually trying to talk my wife out of Spotify, our subscription there, because I was like, hey, YouTube Music's got it going on. You can do a lot. You can do more even here. But Spotify has definitely carved out its place in the world of music and all that stuff. But you can do basically all the same stuff with YouTube Music, so give it a shot. The sport of, let's see, where was I at here? Let me back up a little bit. I was basically just saying, go listen to that episode. Really got sidetracked.
My bad.
Yeah, go listen to that episode. There is a lot of good stuff in that episode. I think it's actually one of those episodes that information wise, if you're really trying to tune into what's happening with the sport, you're going to see in that episode how much the sport is growing. We've got new tracks coming in, 2 new tracks for sanctioned races with the 11-point showdown in Arkansas. Where is that? Pocahontas, Arkansas. And then that's June 14th, 15th. We've got a new end of year sanctioned race, which is the Outlaw Nation Chuckwagon races, Hamburg, Arkansas, or Milo, Arkansas, right next to Hamburg. And that's being put on by Chase Outlaw and his dad, Greg Outlaw. And that's like, I think it's intended to be like your Halloween race. And so, they're going to be the ones closing the door on the points season for the association now. And that's really exciting. Haven't talked to either of those guys in the last week, even though I kind of thought I would. I just, man, time is evaporating right now getting the season 2 done and everything that's going on. So stay tuned. We'll have more information about what's going on down there as time goes on. And then don't forget, there is another outlaw race on the books now, which is the non-sanctioned race in Glen, Mississippi, the Reggie Little Outlaw Race. So that's the weekend of August 2nd and 3rd at Little Creek Farm. Again, that's in Mississippi. So it's exciting. So big news for the Chuckwagon channel and for our team. We have made our first official full-time hire outside of myself. If you want to call me a full-time hire, but this all happened.
I think that's safe to say. Yeah. I would say you work more than I think you work more than a full-time work week at doing this.
Yes. And so that qualifies. I agree. It qualifies, but this is the first big full-time, got to pay them something, hire. And we welcome Savannah Smith to the Chuckwagon channel team. And I don't want to underplay this at all. Like, this is a big deal for us. This is huge. We have a huge pain point, as many of you know, with going and shooting an event and turning it around and getting short form content on social media and being able to just rock on content all the time and keep people plugged in. And so, as we've talked in previous episodes about, hey, 2025, we're going to scale things up. We're going to turn races around quicker. I didn't want to say it too soon, but this is what I was hoping would happen: is we would get this done, and it's happening. So a little bit of backstory. I want to talk about Savannah for a minute. Savannah, born and raised Arkansas. We'll probably have to just have her on the show, honestly, at some point here, and like kind of talk to her a little bit, let her talk about her story. But kind of in short here, I was introduced to her because Brian Boston, who is a buckboard racer, longtime buckboard racer down at Clinton, I'd always go to his camp and I'd do these middle of the week or like Saturday night dinners, right? He would invite us to come and eat and enjoy that. And then I think it was 2022. I want to say like I was getting ready to leave from the week at Clinton, and I think I just saw him for a minute, or maybe we went and ate with him. I don't remember exactly how this happened, but he was like, "Hey, well, my daughter, Savannah, she's like really into video production and stuff, and so you should check her stuff out, And sure enough, I reached out to her and just kind of made contact, and then we got around to 2023, and no, is that right? It's 23 or 24, 22 or 23. And then last year in 2024, she came and shot Whiskey Ridge, was her first one. Mm-hmm. She shot Clinton. She shot Baker, Spain.
Yep.
And she shot at the Rats race in Camden, Arkansas. I think that was it. And so she did 4 events.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. She and not only that, she was like, you don't have to pay me. I'll just like, I want to come and be a part of it. And I was like, I'll try to pay you something if I can, but I'd love for you to be there. And I definitely could use your help. And she was also trying to kind of get her toe dipped in the social media pond there and help us get some stuff going. And so she kind of got us pushed into TikTok, where we made some TikTok posts, which were pretty much from her. and those were really successful. So like she knows social media, she knows some of these marketing things that we need to be doing, and she definitely has the experience with creating content, and so shooting and editing video, and she's passionate about these things, and she's passionate about photography. And yeah, man, we're like I knew that if we're going to do this, we got to go all the way in, and we had a lot of conversations, and it was like, can you move? Can you do all of this? And
Right.
yeah, she's leaving the job that she's had, working for pretty much like a marketing agency, and she's gonna move up here to Southwest Missouri, to Nevada, where we are. And she's been talking to Miranda, and we're getting her hooked up with a place that she's gonna figure out where she's gonna live and do the whole thing. I mean, we're all in on this, and she's all in.
Wow.
Yeah, man. So yeah, now it's like logistics. Like, let's get her moved, let's get it set up, let's get her going. We are going to move out of my house for the business, and we're going to go and find office space.
Wow.
Which is another pain point for Miranda and I with what we do with photography and stuff, is that we don't have a studio space to take people and get out of the elements and stuff. And so we're kind of killing two birds there. And so like we're in the thick of it right now. Like tomorrow, we're going to literally tomorrow morning go look at like 4 or 5 different places that we could rent studio / apartment, or not apartment, studio / office space, and try to get something locked down. So like we're in like a crazy time right now, and
wow,
yeah,
that is a lot.
Big steps
Yes.
right now.
Yeah.
So we will accept any prayers that people throw our way, because
right.
How I don't know how we're painting this. I don't know how this sounds to everybody else, but this is uncharted waters for me to bring somebody on full time. I've had a lot of 1099 work done, like contract work done over the years. But this is a big move. I will be somebody's employer, and that's exciting. I'm ready for it. I know I'm ready for it, but yeah, we want it to go as smooth as possible, and I want her to be happy. And I think that she's really passionate about this. She better be. She's moving, so
right.
She's gonna live here now, and she's gonna have to make a lot of friends and stuff. And I know that that's hard. Like I know I don't undervalue the commitment at all, and I'm just really excited. So excited to have her on the team. Excited to have her coming to as many races as we can afford to get her to this year, to help me out, and then we're going to turn these race days around much quicker. The Chuckwagon channel is just going to benefit so much from having somebody that can be full time, and it's going to free me up to spend a lot more time planning, making sure that we're doing that we're making these moves, being able to look the right way, and then like look down the path, and not just always have my head down, just like working on what's right in front of me all the time.
Right.
And I've done that. I've not just done that with the Chuckwagon channel, but I've done that in previous years too.
Sure.
Where you fill yourself up to whatever your max capacity is. And if you're doing a lot of video, unfortunately, you spend about 10 times more time doing editing than you do just shooting and planning and taking the calls and doing the sales and trying to innovate. And I've heard a lot of people say like, innovate or die. Well, when you're bogged down editing all the time, it's really hard to innovate, and it's really hard to make people happy, and it's really hard to do something that's never been done before, if you're bogged down doing the same old thing in video editing. And so she's going to really help a lot. So I'll get off my soapbox, but
no, but I mean, that's true though. I mean, the bottom of the iceberg is definitely not out there on the track shooting video. It's what happens after the fact. And whether it's in your office or whatever, that's where everything goes down that people can't see. And it is huge compared to what people do see, for sure.
Yes. And, I just know that she's got the skill set and so much more.
Yeah.
So, we're excited. We're so excited, man. I am. It's hard to sleep at night when you know you got so many cool things happening, and you're like, oh man, I got to prepare for this, and I want to make sure that everything's there. But yeah, just gotta take it a day at a time at this point. And she understands. She knows what's going on. So I'm excited for it. She's great. She's got a great personality for it. She's a hard worker.
Yeah.
She does, like, she has an eye for what we're doing. She was down there when we did the Christmas podcast at Clinton.
Yep.
You know, she just jumped on board, and yeah. And that was one of those days where I was like, we were kind of finalizing and trying to talk more in this direction, you know, like,
right,
could this work? And so here we are. You know, we're arriving.
I was oblivious at that point. I was too busy crippling myself.
Yeah, because you opened the door or tried to close the door. That's all right, man. That's why we gotta have more youth involved, right? Just
oh gosh, man, don't gotta put it like that.
Hey,
really?
Just you keep those thumbs healthy, okay? You keep those thumbs healthy. Can be able to fly that drone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the big news that we wanted to share with everybody today. If you stuck around long enough to hear it, that is the climax of today's episode. Welcome, Savannah Smith, to the Chuckwagon Racing, the Chuckwagon channel team. We're not racing, just Justin. You know, hopefully he's in a wagon somewhere right now and practicing. But we love you, Justin. But yeah, don't forget episode 4, Great Wagon Race Season 2. We're going to release that this Friday, 6 p.m. Central Time, exclusively on the Chuckwagon channel. So subscribe, relive the ride at chuckwagonchannel.com. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for tuning in, supporting what we do, and we will see you out on the track.
Thanks for listening to the CWC podcast.